What you will learn: configuring mail properties, setting of two-factor verification to generate mail password properties, forgot password entity class with many to-one relation with the user entity in the database, generating unique token to reset password, setting expiration time and checking invalid token and already used token, using Java mail sender interface to send email with myMessage and myMessageHelper class, using HttpSession class to distribute token across controller method, Thymeleaf Pages, which include error page, password request, reset password, and controllers method to handle how page will be displayed, using Thymeleaf Attribute with view model to display information. In the previous tutorial, we built application which will log the user and log out the user. The user will log in the application, but we did not add the forgot password functionality. The user will have his details in the after he log in. So in this tutorial, we add the forgot password functionality where we will use our email as username to send email and reset our password using some token and checking expiration of the token. So here I will add my email, Aliyu Sahabo Adam, like this, so at gmail.com. So by adding this email, then the next thing I will do is to click the submit button. So here is the message: reset password link is sent to your email. Now if I check my email, here is the password. Click the below to reset password. Ignore this email if you did not make the request. Now let's change the password. Now the password, here is where we will add our password. New password, confirm new password. If we add two different details in this field, we will have some error. Now let me add different, so password do not match. Okay, so we have to put it and confirm the new password. Let me just add 111 as the password and then confirm new password 111. So by clicking submit, you have successfully reset your password. Now if I go to login and then have this Aliyu Sahabo Adam at gmail.com, you can add your email. In the tutorial I will show you step by step. So now if I add 111, we will log in to the application. Here, welcome to dashboard, full name. So if you did not look at how we develop this application, you will go to my videos and check for the login logout Spring Security application. Now let me just log out. Here is a message set logout successful. And then to show you something, we will go back to the email to try as using this mail again. So we have already used this link, so it will show us that the link is expired. Okay, so we have the link is already used. So and if the limit of the link is 10 minutes, if it passed 10 minutes, it will show me that it is expired. Now it is 2 minutes. I will not wait for it to go to 10 minutes just to check that it is expired. You will look at it yourself. You will build it yourself. You will see we will build it together. So now it shows us that the link is used. And here is another thing that I will show you. If you try to access the link just directly by passing the link, it will still show you that it is invalid. You will not add. So your invalid token. So this is what we will build in this tutorial. I hope you will follow us and subscribe our channel to have more knowledge on Spring Boot building real world application. And note that you don't have to bother yourself to watch the other tutorial before watching this. You can watch this because I will just go to my repository to download the project, so we can download it together. You will have the link for downloading the project in the description of this video. Then you will just go to the tutorial and join us directly. So later you can check out the previous video and see how we build the previous functionality. We don't have to build those things again, since that we have already have them. We have already built them. Now to download the project, we will go to GitHub, my GitHub repository where I save the project. So here is the link above. We have this link, so you will have the link in the description, so you can use the link to download the project so that we can continue our development on forget password. So here is the project, and if you want to download it, you will go to this code, click the code. Here we have download zip, and if you click download zip, the project will download. So here is our project, and then let show in folder. So here is the folder, and then let open this. This is our project that we just download in zip file. We have to extract it, extract here. So after extraction, this is what we have. And then let, the name is too long, I will just reduce it by removing this main, so it is better now. So now the next thing, we will import this project to our STS and run to see if it is running successfully. Then we will continue our development on the project. We import here existing Maven project. Next, so browse. You can have it at any folder you want, but my own is in download. I will just import it from the download. Now here is our JAWS registration and login application. Then click select folder, pom.xml, then finish. So you notice here we have importing Maven project building. So here is our project, and this is how our packages look like. And in the previous tutorial, I have not created for the user controller the package. Now I will change this. I will create the package for the controller, because we will have another controller. Okay, this is the package, and then the next thing, we will move this user controller to this. It is telling us that all the references to update. Okay, so now let's click on the bootstrapper class. Okay, here is our bootstrapper class. The next thing that we will do is to run the application and check if it is working. Here, Spring Boot app, run as Spring Boot app. Okay, now the application is starting. If the application started successfully, the next thing we will do is to configure our mail properties by adding the dependency for mail. So with all indication, the project is fine. It started, but let's look at this project in the browser. Okay, we will go to localhost. We have our project. Now here is our registered, so we have this. The next thing is that let's check our database. We have empty table, so we run the project. Now what we will do next is to add email to register, so that we will have an at least email to send and change password to show example. Okay, now let's go back to register. I will add my name, Aliyu Sahabo Adam, and then username. We will use this as email. Okay, here is the email, aliyusahaboadam@gmail.com. You will add your own email. Then the password, I will just put one. You will put whatever you like. Okay, registration successful. Now let's go back to my SQL workbench, our database user that we created in the last tutorial. Now this is our user. So now I have my name and the email. So I will be using this throughout the tutorial to send email and password request, reset and reset. So this is all. The next thing is configure our application mail properties. Okay, now before adding mail properties, the most important thing is to add dependency for mail, because without this dependency we will not able to use mail sending. We will not be able to send mail and use forgot password functionality. So here is our pom.xml, and as I click this, here is our file. Now you see that we have JPA, security, Thymeleaf, web, all in the last tutorial that we made on this project. To add dependency for mail to our project, to add to existing project is simple. You will just go to pom.xml, right click. If you right click this, then you go to Spring. Here we have Spring, and then you have add status. So you see it is connecting us to the spring.io. Now we will look at, let's search for mail. You see we have this Java mail sender, and if you select it, you will click next. So you see here is the mail properties that we have here. Okay, you see, and if you have this, the next thing you will do is to click here. Okay, if we click here, then wait, click finish. So the dependency for mail is added to our project. Click on the application.properties. So here is our security, Spring security properties. Now what we will do next is we will add our properties for mail. Okay, so I have it here. So I will explain this step by step, and let's copy it, and you can just write this yourself. If you have it, it will work, but you will change the username and the password. Okay, now let's go back to here. So here is our Spring Mail configuration. First, you will look at this. We have Spring Mail host. This specify the host address of the SMTP. What is SMTP? Simple Mail Transfer. So Spring Mail host specify the host address of the SMTP server. In the case we set it to smt@gmail.com, which specify Gmail Simple Mail Transfer Protocol server. So the next thing we have port. So this port specify the port number used to connect to the SMTP. We also have Spring Mail username. Okay, in this we have Spring Mail username, which is set to coding techniques, and then this property holds the email address from which you want to send email. In this case, it's set to coding techniques. We will use the coding techniques 15@gmail.com to send email to the users of this app. Okay, and then the next thing we have password, which is the password of this email. So but in this case the password is not working. There are changes which is made. We will use two-step verification, which I will show you how to do it. Before, let me explain this SSL. If we write this SLS enable this property enable SLS encryption for the simple mail transfer protocol connection for the SMTP connection. So we set it to true just to enable the SSL. And then the next thing we have Spring Mail properties.mail.auth, which is this property, specify whether the authentication should be used when connecting to the SMTP server. So yes, it is set to true. And for the password, now password is not working. If you add password using Gmail, it hardly works. So I will show you how to turn on the two-way verification and generate password. So we will paste this password here. So let's go to this email. We will use this email since that it is the one that we will use to send email to our users. Okay, now if I go to Chrome, this is the email that we have added. Okay, you will log into your email that you will use, and then go to here. You will have maybe your picture, and then manage your Google account. Click on manage your Google account. So in this manage your Google account, you go to security. And you see here we have sign in two-way verification is turned off. Then we will turn this and generate password. You will go to manage setting, and then in this manage setting, then it will log you out. You have to log in again. So you will put your password. This is, in my case, it is my password. Okay, so let me click next. Let me add it again. Okay, click next. So now the password is loading. So you see here is where it will use your phone as your second step to sign in. Okay, now let's continue. Press continue. It will ask us to send verification code to our, here I choose text message, then click send. So I will wait for the code to enter my phone, then I will put the code. You will, in your case, you will also have the same process. 533-755. Okay, you see, in this case we will just turn on after adding. It is as simple. So after turn, you will just scroll down, you will have app password, you see. So choose mail and then phone. In this case I will just choose costume name. Let me just add mail. It's nothing important. On mail. So then generate. So here is the password that is generated. Then you can copy the password and then paste it here. So this is all about the configuration. Now we will create a costume entity class for forget password, and then we will go deep in our tutorial. Here we will create new class, new entity class for the token. So we will name this class forgot password token. So now here is a class, and we will annotate this class with @entity to show that it is an entity class, which we will store in the DB. Okay, here now we create a forgot password token class. The next thing we will add is the private ID, which is long ID. Okay, and this ID, we will annotate this ID with @ID, and then we will also annotate this class with the generated value, which will be auto strategy generation type dot auto. So this is our primary key, the primary key for the forgot password token. And the next thing we will add is to add the token, which is a string. We also need private string token. Okay, we have private string token, and this field, the column of this field will not be null in the database, so we need to add column, then we will add nullable to false. So we will not have null in this column, the token column. And the same thing for the other column. The next thing, we will also add private user our user class, which is to specify each token to a user. So, and we have to add one-to-many relationship here, one-to-many. So many to one, we will add many to one. The reason we will add many to one here is that each user will have so many tokens. Each user will have so many tokens. You can forget your password so many times, and you can also forget password, and you will have an email to your for the reset password at so many times as you want. So, and then this will target the target entity. The target entity is the user class. User class. User.class. Okay. And then we will also add fetch, which is fetch type to eager. Okay, and we will need to add a join column, which is a join column. I will explain this step by step. A join column, in this case, we will add nullable to false, because our foreign key will not be null. Nullable to false. Okay, and then we will also add the name of the column, which is, let me name the column to user ID. Okay, this what we have here. The first thing is that many to one, this annotation indicate a many to one relationship between these two entities, between the user and the forgot password token. And then we have target entity, which specify the target reference relationship, which is the user. We have fetch type.eager. This defines the fetching strategy for loading the associated. As long as we load the forgot password token, it will load the private user field for us along with the user. So, and then we have a join column, which we specified our primary key to identify each user in the table of the forgot password token to a forgot password token. So, the next thing, we will also need a local date time, which we will use for our expire time. Add column. This will also will not be null. Nullable to false. Okay, nullable to false. So we need private local date time. We will set it to expire time. Expire time. So we will add the functionality of the expiration in our service class and then inject it to this field. So we also need, the last one is that is use private of type boolean is used. This is to check if the token is used, and this field will not be null as well. And then add column, nullable false to false. These are the fields we need to start with the forgot password token. So we will generate getters and setters for this field. let's go to generate getters and setters for this field. Okay, so let's generate getters and setters. Now this is all we need with the entity class of the forgot password token. We define all our field, all we need to use in the tutorial. So the next thing we will look at is the repository class for the forgot password token. To create repository, now that I finish with this, let me close it. So I will also close this model. Let me open the repository. Here in this case we have only user repository, and we need to create another repository, which is interface forgot password repository forgot password repository. Okay, here we will annotate this class with @repository, and then this interface will extend JPA repository interface, and in this case we will pass the name of the class, which is forgot password token. We will perform JPA operation on the forgot password token class with this long. We will pass the ID as long. So what we will add, we will just add a single method here, which is of type forgot password token, then find by, we need find by token. Okay, here we need this find by token. Okay, and this will have a string token. We will find by token here, token. Okay, this is what we need here. The next thing is the controller and the service class. Okay, we need a service class, which we will close this repository, so to avoid so many paths here. So next, and let me close this and then open the package for the service. So you can see we have 4 services here in our service, both interface and classes. So this is not our main focus. Our main focus is to create a forgot password service. So, and this is a single class that we will create here, and you don't have to bother with these 4 classes for now. Let's create forgot password service. Okay, and here we create forgot password service, and we will annotate this with @service. And the first thing we will do is to create a method, 2 methods, and this will not be the only method we will create. We'll also have some method, but the first one we need to create generate token, which will generate token for us, for which we will pass to our token class on public string. The method, let's name the method generate token. Okay, and this method will return we have a class UUID, which we will use to we will access the static member, and inside the static member we have random UID. So since that we are dealing with string, then we have to convert this to string, so it will generate string random token. So, and the next thing, we will also need public local date time expire time range, which is the range we need at which we need our token to be expired. So even if you try to use it, it will not be possible. Then public local date time, and then let me name it expired time range. So the name is so specific. From the name of the method you will understand what the method will do. So here we will return time, date time, and local date time dot now. Let me access this, and then plus. There is a method plus minute, and there is a method plus hours. In this case we will use minute to determine the minute in which we want our token to expire. We will not pass 0 here. We have to have private, sorry, not this one, private, a field, private final int, and then the name of this field is minute. Okay, then we will pass, I will use 10 minutes. So, and this we will remove this 0 and then pass the minute. Okay, this is the expire time range that we want. Okay, the next thing, we will also add this service class. We also need to send email. So we need to create another method to send email, public void send email. Okay, with this we will use to send email, but this is not the only thing we will do. We will pass some parameters. The first parameter is we will need string. Okay, we will need string 2, which specify which the message will be sent to who, and then we need the subject, which will also be string subject. Okay, so we also need the email link, string email link, the link in which the user will follow to change his password. So you will see how we will implement this inside this class, inside this method. So first thing, we need a MIME message. So MIME message. Okay, you see this class represent a MIME style email message. Okay, let's add it. MIME message, will add message equal to. So we also need a field Java at AutoWrite. Let Java mail sender, Java, a class which will send the message after creating message interface. It is interface Java mail sender, and the name of the field Java mail sender. Okay, so now let me use this field Java mail sender dot create my message. Okay, we will also need my message helper, and then you see from description, helper class for populating Jakarta Melt Internet my message. Okay, let's just have it my message helper, and then name it helper. Okay, helper. Then the next thing we will do is to new my message helper. and then we pass this as a parameter to this. Okay, now we will use the helper to pass, and then before we go forward we need to have a content, email content. So we will have subject, the to, and then the email content. Now let me have string here, email content. Okay, and this will be equal to, when the email content, we will add this email content. First we need to add hello. So this my message help us to have HTML attribute inside the content. So we will have hello, and then we will close the text. Okay, this is what we have, the first thing that we will have here, hello. And then the next thing we will have is that, let me add plus. Okay, the next thing we will have is that we will tell the user, click the link below to reset password. Click the link below to reset click the link below to reset password. Okay, and this is what we will have here. And then the next thing we will do is to add the link, since that we said that he will click the link below to reset password, and this will be inside another text. Okay, we will add string, so inside another text attribute p. So here we will pass the link, and you know the attribute of passing the link is a, so we need this, we also need this a. Okay, so now we will pass the href, and in this case, you know, we need to add slash. Okay, let me look for the slash. Okay, we will add slash. Okay, then we will pass the email link plus email link. We'll pass the link here. So, and the next thing we will do is to add plus, then we will pass another slash here. Okay, so what we have here, we will also have the closing bracket, and then add change my password, Okay, so this href attribute, we need to close it here, so we need to close the link here, and then we will pass the, okay, this is what we need here. So let's check out. So the next thing we will also need add plus. Okay, you see the area has gone. This is what we need here, and we finish. So the next thing we will do is to add, we will add break. Okay, and this will be PR like this. Okay, and then we will also need to tell the user to ignore the message if he did not request for the message. And this message, ignore this email if you did not make the request. Ignore this email if you did not make the request. Okay, now we will close our email content. This is the email content. Click the link below. We added the link, and then tell the user ignore the mail if you did not make the request. Okay, now the next thing, we will use this helper to pass our text. Helper dot set text. Okay, here we will pass the text on the text to email content true. Email content true. Okay, so, and we will also there is exception here. We need to add throws declaration so that we will catch the exception. The exception is the messaging exception. Along the way we will have error, so we may have error sending the email, so that is why we add messaging exception. And then let go helper dot. The next thing I will do is set from. Okay, string from. First I will pass from who. Okay, then this is where I will pass my email, that is from me. Okay, see, I will pass the email that I use, coding techniques 15@gmail.com. Okay, so the next thing we will do here is to add the which is coding technique support, to tell that it is a coding technique support. Coding techniques, you will add anything you need here, coding techniques support. So we have coding technique support, and we will have this method will also throw an exception, which is an unsupported encoding exception, and then we will add throws to the declaration of this method. Okay, then we need to add to subject and to. So we need helper dot set subject. We pass the subject. This is a subject, and then we also need helper dot set to. Okay, internet address to, string set to. Okay, we have to. Okay, now let's have now we finished it. We need to send this email using Java mail sender. Java mail sender dot send my message, and then it passed the message. Okay, this is all we need here, and we will look at our controller, and this is not the only method we need here. We will implement it step by step. Now we will look at our controller and have some get mapping and post mapping requests. Okay, now let's create a controller class for the forgot passwords. Here in the controller package, we need another class. In this class we need forgot password controller. Forgot password controller. Okay, here is the password controller. Click finish, and here is our class. So we will annotate this class with @controller. Okay, we have @controller. Now we need to set the method that we will use in this. The first method is @getMapping. @getMapping, and in this @getMapping we need public string. Okay, public string password request. Let's name the method password request. Okay, then this will return an HTML page. For the name of the HTML page which we will create is password request. So password, then hyphen, then request. Okay, here we have @getMapping. We also need post mapping for the same password request. So let's have post mapping, and this we will need public also string, but this in this case the name will be different. Save password request. The name will be different, which is save password request. Okay, this is our first save password request, and then this will also return password request. Okay, let me just copy this, and since it will return the same thing. Okay, the next thing, we will also have the same post mapping and get mapping for the reset password. Okay, @getMapping. Okay, @getMapping we need public string, then let name it reset password. Okay, this is our reset password, and then we will return the page which we will have return. In this case the name of the page will be reset password. Okay, we have reset password, which is for the get mapping, and we also need another method or for the post mappings @post mapping. Then in this post mapping we will have public string save reset password. Let name it save reset password to differentiate the functionality of the method. Okay, and this method will also return the page return reset password. Okay, so here are the 4 methods that we will use. So now let's implement this method step by step. First thing, we need this password request page, since that we will start with these 2 methods, the get mapping and the post mapping. Okay, so let's go to resource, then template. Here we already have home login register from our previous tutorial. So now let's create new order. Let's go to order HTML file. So now this HTML file will be password request. HTML password request. Okay, the name will tally our method. Now we will also need to create another HTML page, which is for the reset password. Then let's create another HTML file for the reset password, and the name of the method is reset password. Okay, so as you see here is the new page that we have reset password and the password request, and these pages will, the name here are the name of the pages here that we create. So password request, and reset password. So, and then there is another thing that we need to add here, where we will find the page. Let's name this as reset password request, the URL password, and then have request. Let me just duplicate this password request. Okay, so the same thing for the post mapping, password request, and then we need to add this to show that that is the address that we will find this password request page. And then we will also need to add them here for the reset password. So let me duplicate this and just change the name, get mapping, then we will change this to reset password, and then we will also need to add for the post mapping. Okay, let me just duplicate this since that it is the same. These are the what we have so far in the controller, and we will start with implementation of this, and then the next we will have to deal with this again. So the next thing before going anyway, remember that we have Spring Security. We are dealing with the Spring Security in this project, so we need to give this request to grant this request so that it can be accessible. So now let's go to the package called configuration. In our configuration, we have just one configuration, which is security, and then inside this security, let's add some addresses. So to permit this, we will just add comma and then add our URL. Reset, we need reset password. So, and we permit this with this permit all, and then we will also need the password request. We need to permit the password request. Okay, so here are what we have so far. We permit the URL that we have in the controller, this password request, so we need to add this slash password request and then reset password. So after permitting this URL, now let's just close this. We have no case with this throughout this code since that we add this, and then let's go back to our controller to start the implementation. So forgot password controller. So here in this class we need the parameter, some parameter. The parameter we will use in this class, we need at request param. This as request parameter, we will find the user by the username if we post the request. So this is the get mapping, we need to add it here. For the get mapping, we have no issue with this, so let me add this to our post mapping. So we need to get this at request parameter so that we can have the username. So username, and then from the HTML page it will use the field that we have in the username to map it with this parameter request. And let me add string. Let me increase the screen so that, okay, with this we need string username. Okay, we need string username, and at the same time you also need model, a model which we will use for the view. This interface model. Okay, so this is the parameter we have for the post mapping. So if we have post mapping, and it will check our the value that we have in the username, and it will map it to this, that is our email in this case. So the next thing here we will do is to check in the database using user service find by user. Okay, we already have user service, we need to add it here. We already have find by user method in our user service. Add auto-wait, then private user. Here is the suggestion, user service. Okay, so now we have this. The next thing we will do here is to check if the user exists. So we have to check if the user exists. User equal to, then we will use the user service, okay, to find by username. We will find this by username and then pass the username that we map to our request parameter. So it will check this username. So we need to add an if statement. What happens if we find the username? So if we did not find the user, if user, that is if the user we have equal to null. If this user equal to null, let's have some implementation here. So if this user equal to null, we need model.attribute. Here is the attribute. In the string we will have arrow. So arrow, so we have arrow here. Then the next thing we will do is to add what will be displayed in the arrow. Okay, so in this arrow we will have this email is not registered. This email is not registered because if it doesn't find your email in the database, that means you did not register with the email. This email is not registered. This email is not registered. Okay, so this is what we have, and the next thing it will return this page. So it will return, let me check, add this return, it will return this page. So this is what we have if it does not find the username. So before going further, let's have the implementation of this password request. So here you see this is our login page. So we don't need to write HTML page for this for our username. So we just have to copy, since that we have this, we just have to copy it. Then let's check we have something here, login page HTML, which I just display it. Okay, so we will just copy this and have change some functionalities. Okay, let me copy this. So before copy this, we have to add some, we need some another span here for the forgot password URL, forgot password request. So now we will remove this registered. Okay, and then we will need here this, the URL that will take us to the password request in the login page. So if the user forgot his password, we need password request. Okay, we need password request and then ask the user if he forget his password. So forgot password, then add question mark. So when he see this link, he will follow and it will take him to the password request. This is the just some what we what we did in this login page. The next thing, we will copy this and change the implementation in the password request. But before going further, this we will add here in the style sheet. Since that we have it is inline, since the span is inline, we need to have display block here. We need to add display to block so that it will go down. Display block. Okay, so we finish with this case. Now the next thing we will do is to copy and then go to reset password request, and then this password request we will just have this. So let's start the correction. First, this is password request page. Password request page. So we don't have any issue with the style sheet, but we have issue with the implementation of the body. So here the next thing we will do is to start having some error. We have error later in earlier in the controller class. So now what we will do, we will have to, if we have error, so if error, that is if error is not equal to null, that is if we have error, if error is not equal to null, if we have error, that means if we have error, so it will display the error here. So let me show you how we will display, but let me go back to controller to show you. You see here is the error model attribute, and this email is not registered is what we will going to display. Let's go back to the password request, and in the password request, and how we will display the error is that we need this, okay, and then we will add the arrow. So we need this, and then we will write the arrow so it will display the arrow. So here is the arrow. Okay, so if arrow is not equal to null, then it will display the arrow. Okay, the next thing what we will have here is that we don't need this param.logout message, so let's delete this, and this is password request. We will change this to password request. If you did not see how we generate this HTML page, you will look at our previous tutorial on the same project, which is a Spring login logout application. Then here we have password request. So we need password request, and we don't have object. In this case, we don't have object to delete. We have to delete this. Then here we need the URL password request. Okay, this is what we have, password request. And the next thing we will do, in this case, we just need these fields. Okay, so we will delete this. Okay, we will delete this, and then have submit here. Submit. Okay, is what we have already. This is where we have submit, that it will submit to the database. And then at the same time, we don't need this span. We just added this span to our login HTML page, so we don't need this span. And the next thing, we don't need this because we are not mapping this to a field in our object. So type text ID username. This is what we need. enter your email. In this case, we will set that since that it will show this placeholder. Enter your email, and the label here we will leave it at username, and we will also change it to email, whatever you did here, because the username we will use is email, but the implementation inside the pro backend is username. So here we added email. So enter email to reset your password. Enter email. We are telling the user to enter email to reset your password. Okay, this is what we have so far, and then we have submit button. Then we have one arrow that it will display the arrow if the arrow exists. And which arrow is this? Then let's go back to our forgot password controller. Here is the arrow. So what if the user is not equal to null? What if we find the user? So if we find the user, here we need a forgot password token to set what we already defined in the user service. We need forget password token, then forgot password token equal to new forgot password token, new forgot password token. Okay, so you need this is the object that we will use to set the variable and then save it to the database. Okay, now next thing what we'll do here is to start setting the value using this field. Okay, so here we need add service, which is the forgot password service at autowired. We need to add autowired. Then at autowired we will call our service class private forgot password service. Here is the forgot password service and the field forgot password service. So if you observe earlier in this forgot password service, here are what let me go to the forgot password service and check. We have the method to send the email using my message and my message helper. We have a method to generate string, and we also have expire time rate using local date time. You see, okay, we set it to 10 minutes. So we have to set this method to our field. So that is what I am going to do now. So the first thing here, we need to add .set. First we have expire time. Then let's add this. How we can add this? Let me expand the screen. Okay, how we can add this? We will use forgot password service field that we have, and then access the method expire time range. So we are passing expire time range to the set expire time method of the forgot password token. Okay, the next thing we will do is to forgot password token again .set to, we also have the token. And how we will access this? We will access this token. We need forgot password service let me add the method which is generate token. It will generate token and pass it to the token set token field that we have in the forgot password token. We will also have forgot password token dot, the most important thing here is the user. Okay, set user. So since that user is available, we will set this user, and we will also need forgot password token dot set. We need forgot password token dot set use, and we will set use to true, to false. So since that it is not used, so this is what we have so far. And then we will also need they send the email. Since that we set this field, so the next thing we will do is to send the email. But before sending the email, we need to have a link, string email link, which we will pass email link. We don't need this email link, so email link. Let me add the functionality. So what will happen here is that it will redirect to HTTP and then localhost. In this case, we are dealing with localhost, and then localhost 8080. Then we need slash reset password. It will go to this link, that is the link reset password. Okay, so let me copy the link and add it here. And that is not enough. The next thing we will do is add the token to the link, so that we can see the token in the link. Token equal to, we need token, and this token is equal to, let's add space. What we will do is forgot password token dot get token. Forgot password token dot get token. So this is what we have. Okay, this is the link. We will add plus here to concatenate this link together. So on the next thing, we will call forgot password service to send the email. Forgot password service dot send email. Here we have email link, and let me show you. In this forgot password service class, we have forgot password service class. Here is the forgot password service class. We have this link, and we are passing this link through this parameter. So now let's go back to the controller class. In this controller, here we created the link and we pass the link, and this is not the right thing where the link will have. Here we will use the user to get the email. User that we have here, user.get email, user.get username. Okay, here is the username. So, and what we will pass here is a string, and this string will be password reset link. Password reset link. Okay, so the next thing is the email link. Oh, so we have arrow, and what this arrow is that surround with try catch. Okay, so this is the exception that we have on this method. It may throw an exception, either a messaging exception or unsupported encoding exception. So instead of this, we also add a model. We will need a model here, like this one, arrow, but the arrow will be different. Okay, here we will set the arrow while sending email. Arrow while sending email. You see, the benefit of this thing that we just did here is that, let me go back to the password request. It will use the same thing to pass the arrow. Even if you have 3 arrows, it will use this to set the arrows. Okay, so now let's go back to our controller class. So this is finished for this, and then what if it is successful? So there is no error and the email is successfully, we have successfully sent email. Then we will need redirect, Okay, then password request and then success. That is, it is success. That is what will return. And then let's go back to the password request and then add this. So here is what we have, but in this case we have param.success. okay, and the next thing, we will remove this to add password reset link. Password reset link is sent to your email, or password reset link sent to your email. So this is too long. Let me just add password reset link is successfully password reset link set to your email. It's too long, but let me just leave it like this. So this is what we have is the if it is success. So the next thing we will do is to run this program and see what we have so far. So let me run the program. Remember, I have already registered with my email, and then we have configuration. So this is the first run that we did. Okay, it started at port 8080. Now let's go back to, let me refresh this login page. Okay, so this is what we have in the login page. That is the forgot password. So now you see here we have the email. Now let's check the database phase and confirm that we have registered our email, and then user. So confirm we have this email, Aliyu, Sahab, or Adam. So let me copy the email. Whatever the email in your case, you will copy the email, and then let me go back to and submit to check if our functionality is working. Here is what we have. So let me send the email, and the process of sending the email. So let me check the error that we just have while sending the email. Okay, we have error connecting, that is messaging exception could not connect. That is because of the, let us just try to send again. That is because of the network. Let's just send again and see what we have. Okay, we have the same error. That is because of the network. It is not from the implementation. We will just go back to and add the email. So the password reset link sent to your email. Password reset link sent to your email. You see, it is because of the, if you have this error, remote host terminated, just check out your data connection or your network connection. So let's go back. Let me check my email and see if I have the message. So you see, here is the email. We have the email. Okay, let me click. You see, click the link below to reset your password. Ignore this email if you did not make the request. As you see here, we have some error. It does not come with the link. That is because the implementation. Here in my email, I deleted the email that we have sent earlier because that the link is not working. So let's check why the link is not working. So here is the first problem that I check and notice. We need this slash as the at the HTTP. So and then the email have space. We don't need the space here. And then let's check for the forgot password service. In the forgot password service, the method that will send the email here. So we need equal to. So this is the problem I noticed, and let's rerun the program and then resend the email again. These are the three problems I noticed, and after fixing this, let me check if the problem still persists. So the application is started. So let's resend the email again. We need to refresh this. Okay, let me enter the email and send it again. Okay, let me submit. So password recently sent to your email. Here is the link. So now that we have this change password, you see that the link we fix the problem. So and you see we have no error handler here, and that we did not create the page to. Here is the page. We did not create the functionalities of the controller class for this reset password. So here is the functionality that we did not create. So before we need to save this to database, we just set these values, but we need to set it to database, because now if we check our database, we have no ID, no expire issues token. We don't have all these things. So we need to save it to database using our repository. So the forgot password repository, we need to have it here. So add AutoWire forgot password repository. Forgot password repository. So we will save this forgot password repository dot save entity, and we will pass this to it. Okay, now let me rerun the program and at the same time resend the email so that to check if it is safe in the database. So when the application started, we will check if it is safe in the database, and then we will also send the email again. So let's check the DB again. So we still have no issue unless we send the email again. Now let me go back to request, refresh. Okay, I will enter my email here. So because it is post mapping, it will not save unless we send the email. So password reset link is sent to your email. So let me show. Here is the new reset link. Let me click the link to show you. Here is the generated token that we have in the link, and this generated token we will have it now in the DB. Let me refresh the TV. So here is the database, and the user ID that is using here is the foreign key that we are using here. And let me check the user table. You see here the primary key is 1. So, and then in this case it's showing us that the primary key is 1. So the one who using the password, this password, the one who generated is Aliyu, the one who we save in the database. Here is the foreign key here, 1. And even if we generated with the same email, we will have 1, unless if we added another registered name to, unless if we registered another name to database. So we will have 2 if we generated with the given corresponding ID. So here is the password generated as its use is set to 0. So because it is false, and when we use it, we will set it to true so that it should be 1, so that we will not use it again. So here we finish with the functionality of the password request. The next thing we will do is the functionality of the reset password, get mapping, and then post mapping. Before going anywhere, we need to have the functionality of this page. We need to create an HTML view for this page. So the same thing that we did, we just have to copy the password request and then edit it to fit how this one will look. So let's start from here. We need reset password as title. So as we go down here, we don't need this. Okay, so, and we also don't need this. We need reset password here, reset password. Okay, and the URL for this is reset password. Okay, so we are not using email here, so we need to change this group. So to change this group, then we will go to our login and copy the password. So here is the password field. Okay, so go back to the reset password and replace it with the email. Here is the password, and we don't need this either. Okay, so we will duplicate this password since that we need confirmation. Okay, then let's change this to the ID to confirm password. We have changed this ID to confirm password. So here we will write enter new password, and this confirm new password. We will write this confirm new password, so that we will write a JavaScript code to compare the value. So we also need the URL. If you change your password, you need a URL to go to login. So let's go to the login again. We need this URL and change it to our specification. Here in the reset password, we will change this to login, so that if you change the password you will go to the login. So as well, this we need login. So this is okay for now, and what we will do next thing is to have JavaScript code to validate the password. So then we need the JavaScript code here. So to write the JavaScript code we need here script. So on this is inside this we will write our, so we need to delete this, we don't need this. So inside this we will write our JavaScript code to validate the password. First we need a function, the name of the password, the function is validate password. And so inside this we will need to get the value of the first password and the confirm password by ID. We will get the value by ID and store it on this var password. First let's get for the first one and store it on the var password. So document on this field, we will store it on this one. So we need document dot get element document dot get element by ID. So what is the ID of the password here? So you see the ID here is password. We will pass the ID here. So and then we will access the value. So this is how we can access the value. So the next thing, we will duplicate this and add for the confirm password with the ID. So what we need to change here is the ID, since that we are getting the value of these. So and then we will change this field to confirm password. Confirm password. So we get the value of the first password and store it in this field, and the second one we also get it and store it on the confirm password field. So now that we get the two values, the next thing is that we compare if password, this is a very simple JavaScript code, if password is not equal to confirm this one. So if the value of this password is not equal to this, then we will write the functionality of this here inside this. So we need to have alert, so that the function alert, that it will show us password do not match, password do not match. Okay, password do not match, and then it will return false. Return false. It will not submit the form. And if we have now this, that is if the password is equal to confirm new password, it will return true. Then that means our form will submit. So we have written this JavaScript code, but we have to add the JavaScript code to our form. How we can add it is that we will write on submit here in the form. Let's add another attribute on submit. So what will happen on submit is that it will return it will return the name of the function, validate password. So we will add it here, return validate password. So we finish with this. The next thing, we will run the program and check if it is working. Yes. And we will go to the reset password and check if it is working fine. So let me use this. So the program is running. So to check this if it is working, we will go to the reset password. So in this we need localhost reset password. So, and if we here is what we have here. So let's have different thing here. By having different thing here, if we try to submit, you see we have password do not match. So this, we finish the functionality of this. The next thing is that we will see how to handle the get mapping in the controller class. It is working fine. It shows that password do not match. Okay, let's go to the next thing. This is the reset password, and we need some implementation here, where the first thing we use this annotation add param, and then we get the token and map it to the parameter. That is token. Let's get the token. So okay, here we need string. We need string token. So what we do here, we are getting the token for the get mapping, that the get mapping will come with the token, and we are getting this token. We are mapping the token in this parameter, method parameter. So how we will get the token? Through this link. This link will come with this forget password token. It will get the token for us. So whenever we redirect a link from the email, we will get the token here. So by getting this token, we will check if the token is in the database. So how we will do that is that we need the forgot password token, and then the variable forgot password token equal to new. We will not use new here. We will use forgot password repository. Sorry, we will use forgot password repository dot find. Okay, we will use find by token. So dot find by token, which is the value string. So we will find by token. In this case, we pass the token to a parameter of this find by token. So we need to check for the validity, and then we will go to the forgot password token. We need to check for the validity, and there are methods we need to implement. So we go to forgot password service. Okay, in this class here we need a method public for checking the expiration time. We need a method public expired. Let's say public boolean, because it will check the expiration time. So public boolean, the name of the method will be is expired to check for the expiration, and then what we return. So we need a parameter here, forgot password token. Forgot password token. So on this will return local date time after. It will check local date time now, and then there is method is after. We will check if is after the current time is after forget password token dot get expire time. We will check if the time, this is the 10 minutes that we pass. We will check if the current time is related to this one. If it passes, we will have the expire. So now we are checking expiration with this, and we will also need another method here. The method is public string. That we will use this method to check validity. Public string check validity. And then in this method we will pass a model here and the forgot password token. So forgot password token, and then we need a model interface model. So let's see what we can do here. The first thing we need to do here, let me return this to avoid this error, and we will later change it. So the first thing we need here is if forgot password token is null. If forget password token, if we will pass here forget password token equal to null. So what we will return is that we will return model attribute, model.attribute attribute. Okay, that we have an error. And what is the type of the error is we need the type of the error is we need invalid token. So we will return a error page, return an error page. So and here is the error page. We will name the error page to be error page. So we will create error page in our HTML, new order file HTML. So we will name it error page. So in this error page, let's give this title error, and to avoid waste of time, we will go to the password request, since that we have this method that deal with the error. If error is not equal to null, that is if there is error, then we will go to our error page. So we will have the name of the error. So this one is not longer important because we don't have CSS. So in this class we just need a h1 that shows error. Okay, h1 that shows error. So and it will return here, that is our forgot password service. That is what this page will return if forgot password token is null. And then we will continue this journey else if, and then let's get the forgot password is used. If forgot password token is used, we are checking if that forgot password, if it is used. So Then we will also need to have, let me pass this. If that is used, it will return an error page, and in this case we will have the token is already used. So, and that is not, we will check for if it is expired. If it is expired, else if, then let's pass this. If here is our method, the is expired. You see we have this method, if is expired. If is expired, we are passing this forgot password token parameter to this method. You see we are passing this to this method. So let me remove this. If is used, then we will also need to return error page. Okay, so we will return error page, and this error page, the token is expired. The token is expired. So the token is expired. So the next thing is that we need else. Then we will return if none of this happen. If none of this happen, then we will return a reset password page. Reset password page. Reset password page. This is a page that it will return if none of this happen. Okay, let me check. So this is what we have. Okay, and I think we will use forgot password. We will use it in our controller class. So how we will use this, we need to call it. So we need to call forgot password service dot check validity. So here we have null. We did not supposed to have null. We have to pass a model here. So model, and then pass this model inside this object, inside this method. Sorry. So this is what we have so far in this reset password token, but we need to return this method. So we will return this method. Okay, we will use this return. Instead we will return this method. Okay, this is our implementation so far. Okay, we finish with this implementation, but there is need to store the session so that we can use this in our post mapping. We will use HttpSession, HttpSession, and then session. Because of that, we will have to check the token in the database, the availability of the token in the database. We need this token, and how we can use to store, we will use session to store the token. We will use session dot set attribute. What is the attribute? The attribute is token. So we need token here, and then the value is token. We are getting this and store it in the HTTP session, and later we will use it in this class. So now let's go to our post mapping, the next. So in this post mapping phase, we need to get password, which is we will use HTTP servlet request. So we need a password. How we will find a password is that using this, we need string password equal to then what we need is that this parameter request dot, we will call a method get parameter, get parameter of type string, then we will have password here. So this is what we will have here, password. So with this, we are getting the password that we input in our HTML reset password. Okay, after getting the password, we also need to have our session that we have. The next thing is HttpSession. Let me expand the screen. The next thing we need is HttpSession. Session. Okay, so we will get the token that we store here. So let me get the session. How we will get the session is that we will need a string to store the session. String token. So token equal to what? We will need session dot get attribute. So what is the name of the attribute that we need to get here? Is token. So we will pass token here. So token. So we need to map this to string. So this is we get the password and then we get the token. So the next thing is that to use the forgot password repository and do find by token. So here we need forgot password token. Forgot password token equal to what? We will use the repository forgot password repository. Forgot password repository dot find by token. So we are passing this token that we have, that we get from this. So we will check the token. If the token is available, the next thing we will do is to have, if the token is available, we will use user. So user okay, equal to forgot password token dot, we will get the, what we will do here, we will get the user. So we are getting the user from this forgot password token if it's available. So we get the user and store it on this location, this user. So and we will use the user to set the password. User dot set password. But we will not set this the plain password like this. We need a password encoder. We have to define at AutoWord. Okay, password encoder and password encoder. So this is what we will have in this. So before, we need to encode the password before storing it. Password encoder dot encode, then we encode the password, it passes it automatically. So okay, we find the user. If the token is available, we find the user by this token who generated the token and then set the password. So the next thing that we will do is that we will set the use to true, because if we already use the token, then we will have to set the forgot password dot token, forgot password dot is use. So is used to true. So set is use. Okay, set id token set use. Okay, in this case true, it will set that we use the token. So and then the next thing we will do is that save this in the DB. So we need forget password repository. We need to save the password first. We need user service.save password. So let me add the implementation of saving password. Now we need to go to user service. We have interface. This interface we need save. In this case, user. We will not be using user DTO. In this case, user. So here is what we have, and then this class will implement this method that we have just created, add on implemented methods. So what we'll do is to return we have user repository in this class dot save user. We'll save user here, user. So this is okay, and so we will go back to our forget password controller. Forget password controller, and what we will do is that we need to user repository, user service. We are using user service dot save user. That is all. And the last thing is that we will save the forgot password again, because we set this to true, so we have to save it again in the DB. So we will use the repository forget password repository, forget password repository dot save user, save forgot password token. So, and we are almost finished. So what we will do next is that we need to tell that it's successfully safe. What we will do, and that here is our session. In this we need a model to show that it's successful, and we need a model here, model dot attribute. So let's name the name of the model that we will use in the view as message, and here we need something like you have successfully reset your password. You have successfully reset your password. Okay, so you have successfully reset your password. This forgot password token that we implement have a beta validation, a good validation. So next we have to use this in the reset password token. So, and you see we have no message here, and the message we have to pass is that, let me copy our message here. Okay, here is where we will pass the message, but in this case it will check for the message. And then the next thing, we need this also, message. Okay, that is all. Okay, so I think this is all we need to do. Let's run the program and see if we have implemented. Here are the classes that, okay, save, okay, launching. So the program is starting, so it takes time, and we hope that we successfully implement this. So okay, the first thing that we will check now, we will go back to the email. So before going back to the email, let me remind you that we have this token and is set is 0, that we did not use the token. So since that we did not use the token, if you try to use this token, then it will show us that it's expired. It is not used, it is expired. So let's go to our email face, so and check for the last password. It is 3 hours and we set it to 10 minutes and we sent this 3 hours ago. Let's check if our functionality is working. But it will return, it will return, it will return, it will return. This token is expired. You see, our implementation, we have successfully implemented. The token is expired, it is not used. Okay, this is the first thing. And then let's go back to the password request and request for another password. So the next thing, let me send another email. Okay, here I will pass we checked for the expiration yet. Aliyu Sahabo Adam @gmail.com. Okay, let me copy the email in case. So I am submitting this. So password reset link is sent to your email. So now let's check the email again. We need to go back and then enter again. So here is the, you see we have this. Okay, so this password is not expired and it is not used. Let's follow the password. You see it redirect out to this place, and I am setting it to 1111. Okay, let me just set it to 22, and then we have 222. And if I add another 2, so that is, it is not equal, we will have an error. So let me delete it so that it will be equal. Let's see. You see, you have successfully reset your password. Now if you go back to login and then try to enter with this 222, let's see if so it's successfully working. So and then the next thing, we go to the password reset link again. So since that we use this, let's try to access to see if it will show us that we use the token. So let's try. The token is already used. You see, this is our implementation, it is working. And then when you try to access the link with no token, let's try to access the reset password, it will show us that it is invalid because you have no token. The token is null, it is invalid. Let's try to access. You see, it's invalid token. This is our implementation is successfully, and you can please subscribe the channel for more on Spring Boot, building web application, and many more on programming, and then share my video. Thank you very much.